Don't bank on it. This opinion critiques Pakistan's banking sector, arguing that reforms have failed consumers and worsened service delivery. Money in the bank does not have the same meaning in Pakistan. Well, this opening sentence uses irony to signal that Pakistan's banks are unreliable, setting the tone for the critique. There is such all-around uncertainty in the air that even money under the pillow cannot be considered yours because any fairy could claim it. All-around uncertainty is a noun phrase meaning pervasive instability. Under the pillow alludes to informal savings hidden at home. Any fairy could claim it is a metaphor implying that bank clients' funds can be arbitrarily seized. This sentence warns that even informal savings feel insecure given banking unpredictability. Let us take the banking sector, for instance. This transition sentence introduces the banking sector as the focus of the argument. Since the much-trumpeted banking sector reforms initiated in the late 1980s, things may have improved for the IFIs and all those who want to keep an eye on the flow of private remittances to and from Pakistan, but nothing has changed for the clients or consumers of the banking system. Much-trumpeted is an adjectival phrase meaning heavily advertised. IFIs is jargon for international financial institutions. Keep an eye on is a phrasal verb meaning monitor. This sentence means that reforms favored international bodies, not everyday bank users. Whether it is financial inclusion, ease of doing business, or access to finance, there has been no discernible improvement. Only a deterioration in service delivery is palpable. Financial inclusion refers to making banking services accessible to all. Ease of doing business is a technical term about regulatory environment for commerce. No discernible improvement means nothing clearly better. Deterioration is a noun meaning decline. Palpable is an adjective meaning noticeable or tangible. This sentence argues that key banking goals remain unmet while services have worsened. This newspaper reported recently on an unprecedented increase in the number of banking complaints regarding service and fraud that were filed with the banking motasib in the first 6 months of the current year. Unprecedented is an adjective meaning never seen before. Banking motasib is a specific watchdog office for banking complaints. This sentence highlights record-high customer grievances filed with the banking ombudsman. The privatization of the sector, intended to foster competition, improve services for the banked, and increase inclusion for the unbanked, failed on these fronts due to the policy environment that prioritizes other objectives over service delivery. Privatization is a noun meaning transfer from public to private ownership. Foster is a verb meaning encourage. Banked refers to people who have bank accounts. Unbanked to those who don't. This sentence means privatization did not deliver better services because policy priorities lie elsewhere. It remains impossible for those employed in the informal sector and housewives to open an account. This simple factual sentence underscores barriers to banking access for key groups. Of late, all we have achieved in the banking industry is its renaming as Islamic banking. Islamic banking is jargon for Sharia-compliant financial services. This sentence satirically notes that the only visible change has been branding, not improved access or service. A major push against hawala and hundi transactions was a big part of the effort to document the economy. Push against is a phrasal verb meaning campaign to restrict. Hawala and hundi are informal money transfer systems outside banks. This sentence means authorities crack down on informal remittances to formalize financial flows. Working in East Asia, I once sent Eid for my nieces and nephews on Eid al-Fitr in the mid-1990s. Eid is a cultural term for gifts given at Eid festivals. This personal anecdote sets up a contrast with bank remittances. By Eid al-Adha, a good 2 months and 10 days later, the cash gift had still not been received in the respective accounts. By Eid al-Adha indicates the later holiday. Respective means particular to each person. This sentence illustrates bank transfers' extreme delays. My family, sick of my queries, begged me to spare them the ordeal in the future. Spare them the ordeal is an idiomatic expression meaning relieve them of that unpleasant experience. This sentence highlights frustration with banking inefficiency. Having learned my lesson, I asked a hawala agent if he could transfer some money to my mother in Karachi a few months later. This sentence marks the shift to informal transfer out of necessity. He asked for her NIC number and the address. I told him to get an equivalent amount of foreign currency from my office. That evening, my mother called to ask if I had sent her money. The Hawala people delivered the money the same day. Equivalent amount means the same value in another currency. This rapid transaction contrasts with bank delays, praising Hawala's effectiveness. That was then, this is now. That was then, this is now, is a contrasting idiom signaling change over time. This rhetorical sentence pivots to present-day banking conditions. With the FATF and our track record of utilizing non-banking channels for all sorts of dubious activities, one does not, for a second, consider using anything that is not 100% lawful. FATF is jargon for the Financial Action Task Force. Track record means history of performance. For a second is an idiomatic phrase meaning not even briefly. This sentence explains why informal channels are now avoided, pushing reliance on flawed banks. Between my former employer, headquartered abroad, the State Bank of Pakistan, SBP, and one of the largest commercial banks in Pakistan, of which I am an unfortunate customer, my pension often gets lost in the complex tracking system, and it is up to me to figure out who dropped the ball where. Headquartered is a verb meaning based. Drop the ball is an idiom meaning to fail in one's responsibility. This sentence laments pension transfers' disappearance among different institutions. It can take weeks, and no one is accountable. This sentence underscores lack of responsibility or remedy. Go to your local bank to withdraw cash, and you may be surprised to learn that your account has been frozen due to a lack of biometric authentication. Withdraw cash is a standard banking phrase. Frozen is a jargon term meaning inaccessible. Biometric authentication is a technical term for identity verification using physical traits. This sentence describes hurdles to accessing one's own money. That you have done it multiple times does not matter. This sentence stresses arbitrary enforcement. Some unknown SBP circular is cited as requiring it anew. Circular is jargon for an official instruction or notice. Anew is an adverb meaning again. Anew in this sentence means banks invoke obscure directives to justify freezing accounts. Ask for the circular, and they fail to produce it. This sentence highlights opacity and lack of transparency. Submit your biometrics again. They would tell you that it takes a minimum of 72 hours to reactivate your account. Submit is a verb meaning hand in. Reactivate is a verb meaning restore access. This sentence explains the onerous reauthentication process. That you need the money immediately does not matter. This sentence emphasizes banks' indifference to urgent needs. As you wait and sulk, you cannot help but wonder why the bank did not notify you of your account status. Sulk is a verb meaning be silently angry or disappointed. This sentence portrays customer frustration and a lack of communication. All you have on your phone are offers to get a pizza discount or buy 2 towels and get one free on Independence Day. Get one free is a commercial giveaway phrase. This sentence satirizes banks' marketing contrast with service failures. Some private banks are also involved in a real estate racket. Real estate racket is a phrase meaning fraudulent property scheme. This sentence accuses banks of corruption in property leasing. Here is how it works. Every bank has an asset acquisition department. Asset acquisition is jargon for securing property or resources. This sentence sets up the corrupt leasing process. It is responsible for identifying and acquiring suitable properties for opening bank branches. This sentence describes the official remit. It contacts prospective landlords, offering them a fabulous rent and a lease contract of 5 to 10 years. Prospective is an adjective meaning potential. This sentence explains how banks lure landlords with generous terms. They ask for alterations to the property, ranging from renovations to structural changes. Alterations means modifications. This sentence shows banks' demands for costly upgrades. Get the work done, and having borne months of lost income, you are told to cough up 6 months to a year's worth of prospective rent as a bribe to the acquisition team. Cough up is an idiom meaning pay reluctantly. Bribe is a noun meaning illicit payment. This sentence alleges landlords must pay kickbacks after expensive renovations. If you are gullible enough to make this payment, another SBP circular is cited, directing the bank to reduce the number of its branches, thereby canceling out the need for the rental property. Gullible is an adjective meaning easily deceived. This sentence reveals the extortion racket's cynical cancellation of branch expansions. As for recouping the investments made in this shady enterprise, it depends on who has more lawyers on retainer and who has more capacity to hurt the other side. Recoup is a verb meaning recover losses. On retainer is a phrase meaning under ongoing contract with a lawyer. This sentence means that legal battles, not justice, decide who recovers losses. Whether this can happen without the knowledge of the commercial bank's senior management and their regulator is anybody's guess. Anybody's guess is an idiom, meaning no one knows. This sentence questions oversight and complicity. Getting money in the bank is a challenge. Taking it out is a pain. A pain is an idiomatic understatement, meaning very troublesome. This sentence uses antithesis to sum up banking frustrations. You may go laughing all the way to the bank. You could be sent home crying. Laughing all the way to the bank is an idiom meaning profiting easily. Sent home crying is a contrasting phrase implying failure. This closing sentence contrasts expectations of easy banking profits with the reality of distress. The writer is a poet. His latest publication is a collection of satire essays titled Rindana. Shahzad Sharjeel, 1@gmail.com, published in Dawn, July 27, 2025. Enjoy.